Hi, I'm Anna from Latvia, and I have a strange story to tell you. But before I get into it, please like and subscribe. I lived with my mom and dad in a small town as an only child, and while my parents took good care of me, I noticed early on that something was wrong with them. For starters, they hardly left the house and barely spoke to each other, or to me, unless of course I spoke to them first. My home was like a dead, silent library. All my dad did was go through giant folders and papers all day, looking upset. And every night at the same time, Mom would go to the living room window and start whispering to herself. "Mommy, are you okay? What are you whispering?" "Oh, sweetie, I wasn't whispering. Why don't you head to bed? I'll tuck you in." Both my parents refused to tell me what was going on, and Dad would never let me look inside his files. He kept them hidden in his office somewhere I could never find. Luckily, I had a great life at school because I got top grades and enjoyed helping other kids with their studies. But when I turned 15, things got tough there too. An obnoxious girl named Olga transferred to my class. Rumor had it that she'd been expelled from her previous school, and from the moment she arrived, she bothered everyone around her. One time, I was reading in the school courtyard when a baseball hit my head. Olga had thrown it at me. Ow! What was that for? So sorry, dude. I'm playing ball with my imaginary friends, but I'll tell them to be more careful. You are such a weirdo. Ugh, don't you have class or something? Oh, I'm not even supposed to be here. I got suspended. It wasn't my fault, though. I was playing with my lighter, but some moron caught his homework in my fire, and then I left before Olga could finish. She was giving me such a freaking headache. I tried telling my parents about Olga, but as usual, they were no help. There are mean kids at every school. You just have to learn to ignore them. Now go do your homework, Anna. We need some space. You guys always need space. My parents locked themselves in their room that night and refused to come out. And the next day, everything turned upside down. I was sitting in class when I was called to the principal's office, and to my horror, someone had reported me for stealing. The principal had found brand new smartphones and hundreds of euros in my locker. It was so obvious Olga put them there. Do you realize I could have you expelled for this, Anna? But I didn't do it. It was the new girl. Olga, she's framing me. Come on, you know how much trouble she's always getting into. But the principal didn't listen. She ended up suspending me for a week, and it was going on my permanent record, too. Of course there's something you could do. You could talk to my principal or call a lawyer or… Call a lawyer? We don't have the money for that. And you know we're too busy to get in a whole fight with your principal. It's only a few days of suspension. You'll be fine. You mean you're too busy in your rooms all day, sitting next to the window and staring off into space? If you really loved me, you'd fight for me and help me through this. I can't take this anymore. I've reached my limit. I fled to my bedroom before my parents could answer and grabbed a suitcase out of my closet. I needed to get out of my house. I would go anywhere as long as I was away from them. So the next morning, I crept out early with my suitcase and turned off the location services on my phone. But I just found myself walking to school. Then suddenly I had a brilliant idea. I'd heard rumors that there was an attic above the school storage closet, and nobody ever went up there. So when school opened, I snuck into the storage closet when nobody was looking and found a ladder. But when I climbed up, I saw the light was already on, along with a sleeping bag with freaking Olga sitting on it. Oh my God, what are you doing here? I arrived here an hour ago. It's smaller than I'd expect it to be, though. I feel like I'm inside a mousetrap. No. I did not run away from my awful house to be stuck up here with you of all people. Please don't tell me that's a duffel bag. Are you camping up here too? Dude, I'm a great roommate. I like to stay up and blast music, well, but we can't do that here. So I was thinking you and I could spend all night hunting for rats here and killing them. Oh God, wake me up in 50 years. Of course, Olga started dancing around because she was so excited that we'd be living together, probably so she could ruin my life 24/7. The attic really was the size of a closet, but it did have a bathroom, except there wasn't any shower or running water. Okay, we need to think of some plan. We can't leave the attic during the day because we could get caught. And if we leave at night, we won't be able to get back in because the school will be locked. We have to find a way to get food, water, and go down to the gym bathrooms to shower. I don't know, but I brought snacks. The big thing is, I don't like sharing. So what, you're gonna leave me to starve? Yeah, sorry. I don't feel like sharing my water either, but you can borrow my ointment to cover up that pimple. Don't look at my pimple! I sat there angrily as I watched Olga eat snack bars, chips, and chocolate. The attic was starting to get cold, too. I was just wrapping myself in my sleeping bag when Olga crawled over to me. So, you want to tell me why you're here? You're obviously miserable at home. What's your story, dude? Why should I tell you? You won't share your food with me. Fine, I'll share a little of my food if you tell me why you ran away. In fact, I'll even tell you why I left home. Okay. Well, my parents are weirdos who never talk to each other, or me, or anyone unless I talk to them first. And sometimes, before I knew it, I told Olga everything about my life, and it felt great to get it off my chest. But before Olga could answer, we heard yelling and sirens outside. We immediately ran to the window and saw about 10 cops with flashlights and a ton of other people, including my parents. Ah, crud. My mom and dad are here along with a search team. I gotta get out of here or I'm toast. Are you crazy? If you leave here, you'll get caught, and then who knows what'll happen? Listen, Anna, the cops are probably gonna investigate the school, including the attic. I'm not going back home. I'm going somewhere else, and you're coming with me. Why do you want me to come with you? Because if I get in trouble, I want someone else to blame. I rolled my eyes hearing that, but for some reason, I hated the idea of Olga going alone and not knowing what could happen to her, so I agreed. We heard the search team coming inside, so we hid our luggage in the storage closet and crawled into one of the lockers. You're so comfy, Anna, like a giant beanbag pillow. Is that your way of saying I'm fat? Then, at that second, the search team walked close to the lockers and we held our breaths. Anna and Olga definitely aren't at this school, but don't worry, we won't stop searching until we find them. We have to. I wonder what trouble Olga's gotten herself into this time. What did I ever do to deserve this? Why is this happening to us again? Sweetheart, don't worry. We're not going to lose Anna. What happened last time won't happen again. The search team left shortly after that, but I was numb with shock and confusion. We don't have to leave the attic. These cops are idiots. What did my parents mean when they said this can't happen to them again? I mean, I've always wondered why they are the way that they are, and it's so obvious they're full of secrets, but that was weird, even for them. Well, it's not like you can do much about it. But I want to do something about it, like an investigation or something. At that moment, I told Olga all about the files Dad always looked at that I'd never been able to get my hands on, and how I needed to try and find them again. Once I find out what they've been hiding and I confront them about it, maybe I can move back home. It's 1:55 a.m. It should be safe for us to leave now. Please? Olga agreed to come with me, but there was one problem. Neither of us had a mask or anything to cover ourselves with, and we could only think of one option. This was the stupidest idea ever. It's gonna take forever to walk to my house. Wrong. I'm a genius for thinking of this. This is what ninjas wear when they go out in pairs. No, Olga, that's not a thing. Just stay quiet and stop pushing me. My parents always locked our doors, so Olga and I had to crawl in through the dog door. Then, suddenly, I spotted Dad's open files on the table that he'd left out, and his journal was out too. I couldn't believe my luck. I opened the folders to find records of a kid named Bruno, who was born 3 years before me and had my same last name. Psst, Anna. Check out your dad's journal. It has a picture of this Bruno kid when he was like 2. Whoa! Bruno, my beloved son, giving you up was my biggest regret. So I had an older brother somewhere that my parents had been grieving for. I took Dad's folders and journal, and 4 hours later, I was back with Olga in the school attic. We searched up Bruno online, but when the results came up, Olga gasped. Holy crud! That's my ex-boyfriend! And well, he may or may not be a criminal. Wait, what? My brother's a criminal? You mean he's like you? He's been arrested and stuff? only one time. All the crooks and gangsters in town kinda know each other and go out for pizza on the weekends. Or steal it. I can't believe this. Why would he be a crook? I don't know. We only dated for 2 weeks. But maybe his parents are like my parents. Maybe they're jerks and love his younger sisters more than him, so he'd rather live in an attic than be near them. Okay, fine. I'm talking about my parents. It was so clear Olga was miserable at home, and suddenly I felt sorry for her. And if Bruno had a life like that too, it was all the more reason to find him. Luckily, Olga remembered where Bruno lived, but our only option was to take the bus during the day, with hoodies as our only disguise. Man, there were posters of us everywhere, and still no one's recognized us or asked for our autograph. We're not celebrities, Olga. When we arrived at Bruno's house, I was surprised to see he lived in a mansion, and when he opened the door, he was dressed in a suit. Olga? Is that you? Yes, Bruno, it's me. But I'm not here to get back together, babe. It's time you get over me. No, I mean, you've been missing for days, and the whole town is looking for you and this other girl, who I think is you? What are you both doing here? I don't know how to say this, but Bruno, I'm your sister. My parents gave you up for adoption before I was born and have regretted it ever since. So, are you okay here? Is it true you got arrested and committed crimes and stuff? Bruno stared at me shocked as I handed him Dad's records. But before he could say anything, I heard sirens behind us, and it was the search team, along with mine and Olga's parents. Mom and Dad hugged me. Sweetheart, thank God you're alive. How could you do this to us? I shouldn't have run away, but I was unhappy at home and hated that you guys neglected me. I knew something was wrong though, which is why I did a little digging and went to find your son Bruno. My parents were totally silent as Bruno walked up to us with Dad's folders. Bruno, sweetie, is that really you? Yeah, it is. Well, now I know where my folders went. Sweetheart, your mother and I gave you up for adoption when you were 2 years old because we couldn't afford to take care of you. But then we got better jobs and wanted to take you back. We just couldn't tear you apart from your new family. You seemed so happy, and we knew you were in good hands. To my surprise, Bruno teared up and invited us inside for a cup of tea to have a talk. I'm glad and shocked that the four of us are here now together. And Anna, it means a lot that you came looking for me. I do have a good life, and my adopted family loves me. I did get involved with a bad crowd and got arrested once, when I dated Olga. Wow. Honey, we're really happy to hear that. Will you at least keep in touch with us? Yes, I'm still mad at you. I always wondered why my real parents abandoned me. Was I not worth it? But I also understand life might be hard, and it pushes us to make some very bad decisions. The bright side is that I got adopted by a great family. I think I'll forgive you guys eventually. But first, you need to give the proper love and attention to the daughter you already have. You were so busy mourning me that you almost lost Anna. My parents instantly promised they loved me and wouldn't take me for granted anymore. The four of us hugged, and me and my mom wouldn't stop crying. Then suddenly, Olga burst into the kitchen and sat on the table. I decided to go back home with my parents, but I made them promise to give me ice cream for breakfast every day for the next month, and to tell my sisters I'm the favorite daughter. That's all I really wanted, really. That's great, Olga. So, are we friends now? Or are you gonna torture me again when we get back to school? Of course I'm gonna torture you, silly. I torture the people I love.